Hello, today my team number 1 is going to expose the learning evidence of the stage 4. My team is composed by Alondra, Delgado, Samantha, Hernández, Gabriela, Vázquez, Emiliano, Ledezma, Anhuar, Marroquin, and your servant Carolina Ramírez.
To begin with, I collect bottles of plastic things to be able to recycle them or separate them in the trash, as well as using returnable soda containers when consuming to reduce my use of plastic and to be able to contribute it and avoid what many goes to the rivers or beach that air bottles that we do not recycle there. For the second activity I did, I recycled by saving things that could spill or break in plastic bags, zipper bags from online stores where I have previously shopped. So I could recycle these same bags even to use them as garbage bags. For the last activity, I use LED bulbs that are in the mirror where I usually fix myself, and his no LED bulbs consume 80 to 90% less energy than those bulbs and halogen lamps, thus having a greater saving and contributing ecologically.
Hi, my name is María González and I am going to explain the activity that I carry out during the semester to help to reduce my ecological impact. Well, the first thing is that I recollect and separate the plastic bottles and the bottle caps in bags. This is because plastic bottles are the ones that take the longest to degrade after glass. If we recycle plastic, we are contributing to the environment. Just as collecting plastic caps helps to conserve the planet through the recycle of non-biodegradable material. One activity that I did was to use energy-saving light bulbs in my house, since this allows to save up to 75% or more in your electricity consumption. With my family, I also install a water filter for the refrigerator. That way we have purified water without having to buy large amount of bottled water. Another activity was to use cloth masks, since with the pandemic we have the use of masks constantly and we try to use less of disposable ones, and we use cloth masks and then we wash them and then we use it again. I also bought vegetable fiber scruple to reduce the use of plastics in the bathroom, and I also increase the use of cloth bags for the grocery store and the stores same things. This is to avoid the use of plastic bags. And finally, I just ended the webinar of the Use of Agua project, where the importance of water treatment in the industry were discussed.
Hello, my name is Carolina Ramírez. One of the first activity that I start to do is to use ecological bags because they are so useful, because if we know when we go out and we shop, they always, or the majority of the time, they give us plastic bags and they are so bad for the environment. Nowadays, we are in a very difficult situation because of the pandemic, so it's very necessary to use masks. I recommend you use cloth masks because they are so useful, because you can wash it and then use it again. In the other hand, the normal masks, they are so bad for the environment because you can always use like 1 or 2 times, and that's so bad. Another thing that I start to do, I buy some things to reduce my consume of energy, because that's something that also affect our planet. One of the first things that I started to put in my house was LED lights that are very good for the environment, because the normal lights always use more of the consume of light, so that's so bad for the environment. Another things that I start to buy is solar panels from the exterior of my house, because when it is night I cannot see anything, so it's better because when it detects movement it ons, and it's better for the environment. Another activity that I start to do is to recycle bottles and plastic. These bottles I use to plant some plants, and the plastic I buy a toy for my dog that is create about plastic, so is recycle, and I can use that for a longer time, and it's better for the environment.
Good morning, I'm Gabriela Vázquez Blanco, and some of the actions I did in a sustainable way for the development of this activity were unplugging devices that were not in use because in a way they consume a little energy when they are connected. Also brushing my teeth during the day but using only a glass of water and keeping the faucet closed to avoid wasting more water. I also wash my car using a bucket since using a hose for this activity wastes too much water. And another activity was that when I cut vegetables, I put the remains of peels and leftovers in the soil of the pots in my house to serve as a compost instead of just throwing them in the trash and they became simple waste. To conclude, I think it's very important that we all change the way we do certain things so that we do them in a more sustainable way and that we can help in the conservation and care of our planet.
Hello, my name is Anhuar and I will explain to you what I do to improve my ecological footprint. Starting with the most basic and something that all people do is brush my teeth. I do it with a bamboo toothbrush because it is biodegradable. Due to the current situation of the pandemic, I use cloth masks to be able to use them several times, washing them and not to be wasting disposables. I water the plants at night because during the day the water evaporates and is not used 100%. One thing that you could say is not that common is that I recycle batteries because 75% of their materials can be reused. I also recycle plastic cups and aluminum cans. And something that we do in my family is use less bulbs because they use less energy and we use tires that are not used to make flower pots.
Hello, my name is Emiliano Ledezma and today I'm going to explain some of my actions to reduce the environmental impact. The first of these was to change the lights for energy saving bulbs since they consume the 75% less electrical energy and last up to 10 times longer than incandescent bulbs, in addition to giving off less heat than normal bulbs and reducing the carbon dioxide emissions. The second action is to unplug the electrical appliances and cell phone chargers when they are not used. Saying if they are not used, they spend almost 10% of the monthly electricity consumed ion in each home, in addition to reducing their useful life. The third of these actions is to use cloth bags when we go to the supermarket, since these are reusable, which increase their useful life and allows you to reduce the amount of garbage you generate. For every cloth bag you use, you will stop using up to 400 plastic bags, which will have a great impact of the environment. Well, these were of actions for the care of the environment. We hope that have been to your liking. Thank you very much for your attention, and remember that together we can make the difference.